Um, I enjoyed the challenge. Um, and in hindsight, I guess I enjoyed the work experience, but it was very difficult. It was by far the hardest job I've had. Um, but it was supposed to be. It was a very lonely experience because it was supposed to be. It was a very lonely film, a very lonely character. Yeah, so it was tough. Yeah, of course. No, I really I wanted to investigate his background, as you were saying. I believe that the generations before you, your father and your father's father, strongly affect your opinions and your outlook on life and love. And I believe that to be the case in this story. That was why Innes was so tortured. Is because his genetic structure was disagreeing with his love. What he had been given through his parents was strongly against the way he had grown. He was in love with a man. Essentially, he was, or he is, a homophobic man in love with another man. But this is why I chose to play the role, is because of the complexities of the many levels to him, and the very little lines I had to express it. You know, I was very excited to play a character who was so still, and it was ended up being quite easy because the environment I was in was very still. You know, the mountains and the trees, and so I really wanted to harness that stillness and try and have him blend into the environment. You know, I wanted him to be a mountain. I wanted him to be a tree. I wanted him to be, a rock.
Yeah, but it's true, and you did a little bit of that.
I guess so. I didn't watch dailies, but I'm sure Ang would have allowed us to. I don't know. I guess I didn't really have to watch it back in order to be convinced. I just had to feel it on the day, and as long as I trusted what I was feeling and it felt correct, it felt like I was giving justice to the story and the emotion. If I feel it on the inside, then chances are it's happening on screen, hopefully. So, yeah, but I would watch it back on the monitor every now and then, but I generally just try and trust Ang and just concentrate on my next take, kind of thing.
Did you enjoy the
Sure, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, it's one of many things I liked about it, but it wasn't the reason why I did the film, but it was definitely a bonus, and it was a beautiful environment, and it was grand. You know, the mountainside that we were shooting in. Yeah. Um, well, it was probably the most beautiful screenplay I've ever read. Um, I thought it was an important story. I feel like it was telling a story that had been told many times before, but not this way. It hadn't been told with this backdrop. Um, and to work with Ang, and to work on such a complex character, to be brave. Well, Jake and I are both very professional people, and Ang is obviously very professional, and so uh, we all got along very well. We had to. um, but we have a lot of respect for each other, and so uh, yeah, it was a very collaborative effort. And we were always very supportive of each other. That's for sure. Yeah, look, I think it would be a very tough thing, and not only today's society, but certainly back then, it must have been extra hard being gay in a macho society, or in any society, I'd say, is or can be a struggle. And how I how I investigated that, I don't know. I just used my imagination, I guess. Look, my job in the end of the day wasn't really to represent people on a whole and a society of people. It was to represent a small story of love and a character. So I wasn't trying to think on a grand scale and make any political kind of comments or messages or statements. It was purely a statement of love. And so my job was to investigate this person, not investigate a group of people. I guess that's a matter of opinion, and I don't know whether that's maybe on a broad sense, but I think everyone personally explores love in their own ways, and I think it varies. I like to think that I don't put any boundaries on the way I love, for example. So, yeah, I think it's hard to say that everyone puts boundaries on love. I think that's a very broad statement, but you know, it's a matter of opinion, I think. Yeah. I think it's Ang's attention to detail is microscopic. In life in general, I think, and I think he observes people and he really dissects humanity well. And I think he's very good at translating that to story. And as a director, his attention to detail is microscopic as well. So he just collaborates these two skills of his, and yeah, you have to develop flexibility as an actor when you're working with different directors, because every director works differently, just very much like every person thinks differently. You have to adapt, and that's what makes it interesting, you know, because you're forced into evolving as an actor and as a person. You know, you'd have to be very ignorant and narrow-minded to stick to your one form of acting and your one way and your one belief. As an actor, you have to be open-minded to anything, any suggestions, and any opinions. You have to be very flexible, I believe.
Next few days.
Okay, I don't know what to expect. I have been anticipating it because it's a very exciting, nerve-wracking experience. I'm not sure what to expect, and you know, I'm just trying to take it day by day and film by film, interview by interview, and just try and enjoy it and relax and breathe. Yeah.